The Bull Terrier's jaws clamp down, white teeth against white glove, pulling, not letting go. Gasps ripple across the courtyard. The guard does not move, not a twitch, not a sound. His eyes remain closed, as if bracing for something much older than pain. The dog growls again. The glove tears at the seam. A child drops their sandwich. A woman lifts her phone. And the soldier, he lets it happen. But just beneath the torn fabric, a scar shaped like teeth begins to show. Somewhere in the fog, a phone begins to record. A woman's breath catches. Too loud for silence, too small to stop it. The dog holds. The glove hangs, twisted, trembling. But still. The guard does not move. Not a word. Not a command. His hand, though bare now, remains open, unclenched. A teenage boy mutters, "Do something." An old man murmurs, "He is doing something." The crowd divides, not with voices, but with looks. One filled with judgment, another with confusion. He could have shouted. He could have pulled back. He could have asserted control. But he stands like stone, not out of pride, but something else. Light catches the edge of the scar again. It isn't fresh. It knows its place. And yet, the soldier lowers his head, not in shame, but in something harder to name. Why would a man let himself be bitten if he wanted the world to misunderstand? It was dusk in Kandahar. The sun had dipped, not behind mountains, but into the throat of a compound cloaked in silence. Arthur stood at the kennel gate, gloves off, orders in hand. Inside, a bull terrier, white and shaking, fresh from extraction. Ears torn, eyes too quiet for something still breathing. The sergeant had said, "Observe its response. Do not engage. Log and sign off." Arthur had signed. 4 seconds. That's how long the dog held his gaze, before looking away and never looking back. That night, the air smelt of bleach and burning nylon. He still remembers the sound of the latch clicking shut. Not loud, but final. 18 years on, he wears his gloves as if they are part of the oath he never spoke. And now, with his wrist exposed beneath foreign teeth, he does not flinch. Because once, he flinched too late. The first click comes from the left, then another. A phone vibrates in someone's coat. A tourist whispers, "He's not allowed to move, is he?" No one answers. The dog still holds the glove. The guard still lets him. More phones rise, some to film, some to zoom. Thumbs tremble. Voices don't. A woman mutters, "That's not protocol." Another says, "It's staged." No one steps forward, but everyone leans in. The morning mist lifts slightly, only to be replaced by shadow. The sun no longer lands on Arthur's face, but behind him, casting him forward as a silhouette against the crowd. A small boy with freckles stares from behind his mother's coat. He clutches a folded paper flag, the kind they give to children when they're told what pride looks like. He doesn't wave it. He just watches, and for the first time, lowers it slowly. A breeze passes, just enough to lift the torn edge of the glove. It flutters once, then drops. The dog loosens its grip, not fully, just enough. And in that pause, Arthur's left hand shifts, barely. Not to push, not to pull, but to let something fall. From the inside of his cuff, a strip of fabric slips, creased, yellowed, old. It lands face up on the stones. A name tag, frayed thread, one corner burnt. The lettering faded, but not gone. J. Wensley. The crowd doesn't see it. Not yet. But the boy with the flag does. He kneels without knowing why. And when he reaches out, His fingers stop a breath away, as if even a child understands some things are not his to touch. A voice cuts through the fog, sharp, northern, angry. "Oi! Someone stop this! He's being attacked!" A man pushes forward, hand outstretched, but a woman grabs his sleeve. "Look closer," she whispers. "Just look." The boy still kneels by the tag. He hasn't moved. A teenager lifts his phone higher, zooms, whispers, "Why isn't he fighting back?" The dog growls once, short, uncertain. Its body begins to lower. Arthur's jaw shifts, not his stance, not his hands, just the set of his mouth. His breath slows, not steady, but deliberate. From the crowd, someone scoffs. "He's letting it happen. Bloody disgrace." But no one steps in, because no one knows what they're seeing anymore. Just a man, a dog, and a name tag on the ground that doesn't match the uniform. Then a child's voice, quiet. Why is he letting the dog remember? The dog lowers its head, not in submission, but memory. Its nose brushes the tag. One sniff, then a whimper, a faint one, almost personal. Arthur's shoulders rise. Once, a breath that doesn't reach his lungs. From beneath the glove's torn seam, something else slips out. A scrap of paper, folded, laminated, old military vet clearance. But the name matches the tag, not the uniform. Not Arthur, James Wensley. The silence ripples. A woman in the crowd steps forward, barely audible. "My brother trained dogs. They said one went unresponsive after Afghanistan. They never said why." The Bull Terrier presses its head against Arthur's knee. Gentle, certain. And Arthur, he doesn't reach down. He just closes his eyes. Because forgiveness, when it finally returns, doesn't always look like an apology. Sometimes, it simply recognizes the hand that once let go, but stayed. Dust, smoke, the copper taste of silence after the blast. Kandahar again. Not the base, but the kennel perimeter, just minutes too late. A collapsed gate, blood in paw prints. Arthur kneels, bare-handed, pressing a field dressing to the side of a white Bull Terrier, shaking, glazed, but still breathing. The dog looks up, not in pain, not in fear, but as if asking, "Why didn't you come sooner?" He had no answer then. He still doesn't. The barking fades, the field fades. Only the eyes stay. 4 seconds too long. Back in London, the dog at his feet exhales. And Arthur doesn't wipe the scar, doesn't fix the glove. He just lets the air pass through him, like he no longer deserves to stop it. The crowd still watches, phones half raised, breath half held. But Arthur moves. Not much, just enough. His left hand, bare, scarred, reaches down, slowly, with no command, no defense. He does not touch the dog. He places his gloved hand, flat on the stone beside it, open, still, facing upward. An invitation, not for obedience, but for recognition. The Bull Terrier stares, then presses its paw into the glove. Not trained, not prompted, just accepted. Around them, the murmurs fade. A woman lowers her phone. A man removes his cap. The boy with the flag. He folds it. Not for victory, not for mourning, but for something he doesn't yet have words for. And Arthur, eyes closed now, lets the world see what dignity looks like when no one is watching for it. The light seems to pause. Even the mist stops moving. A leaf hovers mid-fall, caught by still air. No one speaks. The man with the phone lowers it, screen still glowing. The tourist beside him steps back. Just one quiet step. A woman clutches her handbag tighter, then relaxes her grip. The boy with the folded flag doesn't blink. The old man near the gates removes his cap. He holds it to his chest, not like a soldier, like a witness. A pigeon lands, then doesn't move. The bull terrier lies down, head on the stone, one paw still resting in the glove, and Arthur, still kneeling, does nothing more. He doesn't need to, because sometimes silence spreads louder than commands. And in that silence, a child, barely 7, lets go of their parent's hand and simply watches. The crowd still watches, phones half raised, breath half held. But Arthur moves. Not much, just enough. His left hand, bare, scarred, reaches down, slowly, with no command, no defense. He does not touch the dog. He places his gloved hand, flat on the stone beside it, open, still, facing upward. An invitation, not for obedience, but for recognition. The bull terrier stares, then presses its paw into the glove. Not trained, not prompted, just accepted. Around them, the murmurs fade. A woman lowers her phone. A man removes his cap. The boy with the flag. He folds it. Not for victory, not for mourning, but for something he doesn't yet have words for. And Arthur, eyes closed now, lets the world see what dignity looks like when no one is watching for it. Some lessons arrive not through speeches or applause, but through stillness. This story was never truly about a dog, or a soldier, or a scar. It was about what we do when no one demands anything from us, when there is no enemy to fight, no instruction to follow, and only memory remains. Arthur did not raise his voice. He did not strike back. He did not explain. And yet, he taught something. That strength is not always loud. That dignity may look like inaction, but carries the weight of what one has chosen not to do. We live in a world that rushes to judge, to record, to react. But sometimes, what is needed most is the discipline to pause, and the courage to remember without retaliation. Perhaps, in our own lives, there are moments we too could stand still. Not out of fear, not out of pride, but because stillness itself might be the loudest act of healing. And in that silence, maybe we too can forgive what no one ever said sorry for.